So welcome back, guys. Welcome to episode, or part I should say, 2 of preparing my gear for the changing seasons. If you missed the first part, hit the button in the top corner and it will take you to me looking over a few of my clothing items and how I prepare and what products I use on those when the seasons start to change. But if you're here to look at some tools and what I do to those to make them last a bit longer in the winter time, stick around and I'm going to be showing you how to do that now. So I'm going to be just looking over 3 of the main bushcraft tools: the saw, the knife, and of course the axe. I'll start off with the products that I'm going to be using. I use dubbing wax on any leather product that doesn't have a lot of movement in it. So, like I explained in my last one, I wouldn't use dubbing on my boots because of that, because the crease effect on the boots, it causes it to ruck, and valleys and troughs and peaks, I think they call it, can form in the wax. You could use mink oil, which is what I use on my boots, on the sheaths of the axe and the knife, but to be honest, this is absolutely fine. Now, in this rather chewed bottle, it's been attacked by rats in the shed, is boiled linseed oil. Now, boiled linseed oil I use on the wood and handles on my axe, not so much on my knives. I find the knife handles tend to be okay, but the wooden handle on my axe definitely gets a good go on this once a year. And then on my saw, I use a saw blade cleaner. I haven't got it out yet. I'll show you when I go to use it. I'll start on the saw right now. So this is a Silky saw. Other saws are available. Silky gomboy 240. Really coarse teeth on this thing, even though this is, I think, the medium blade. Pull saw, absolutely great for doing bits of bushcraft as well as any sort of gardening work you've got to do. This will do a lot. People do say that the blades are fragile. They are. I've not managed to snap one yet, touchwood, but I see a lot of people and a lot of videos where they're broken around here because people are not paying attention to what they're doing and they get it jammed in and snap, it's gone. They're heat treated, quite brittle. That's what I've heard. So, what do I do to my Silky? Well, not a whole lot really. The way the teeth are designed is they're pretty self-cleaning. I've not used this a whole lot this year, so the blade itself isn't too bad. There is a little bit I can see in the teeth, so I will just give it a once over, just to give you an example on what I'm doing. But obviously it's a composite handle, rubberized handle, so nothing needs to happen here. This is all stainless. This is all stainless. Nearly nothing to do, nothing to go wrong, shall we say. But this is the stuff I use on the saw blade itself. It's a general tool cleaner for spindle moulders and drill bits, saw blades. What else do you need really? I've used a brush in the past. I can't seem to find a brush at the moment, but what I'll do is I'll just give it a spray. Put a towel down just for a bit of overspray. So I'll just put the blade down on the table there. I'll give it a spray over with a bit of this stuff. So this is designed to just break down any sort of residue, especially when you're cutting softwoods. Softwoods are a real mess when it comes to saw blades, because it can gum up all in the teeth. If it was really gummed up, what I'd do is I'd get an old paintbrush and just get in there and take all of those bits out. But I can just give it an agitation, shall we say, and take off any residue that is on that blade. So to the other side, no problem there. Give it a few minutes. Just work it in to the face of the blade, and then just pull it through the teeth. Get any bits of sawdust and all stuff out from those teeth. Other than that, that is absolutely fine. Cracking. So that's basically all the treatment I actually ever need to do to my saw, because it hasn't got a wooden handle, so that one's said and done. Nice and easy. Another nice and easy one are my knives. Like I said, I will treat the leather on the sheaths, and I do that just with a bit of dubbing. I'll get dubbing wax is a hard wax that sits on the outside of the leather and stops anything from getting sort of ground into it. So just with a small polishing cloth, just get a little bit on there. Doesn't need a lot. A little goes a long way with this stuff. And what I'll do is I'll just work it into the leather nice and, well, liberally. Like I say, a little goes a long way. Yeah, really doesn't need a whole lot. This is from my belt knife, so it's not going to get too much rubbish ground into it because it's not being left on the ground. And then just with the flat part of the polishing cloth, give it a once over and take the excess off, and it will just give it a little bit of a protection from any grit and grime and bad weather that comes its way. So again, belt knife doesn't need a whole lot to do to it. This is a Helle. Helle has a signature 3 steel stainless outer and a carbon core. Bad knife to have chosen to do this video because it's stainless. Nearly all of my knives are stainless, to be honest, because I live so close to the coast. There's a lot of salt in the air, and being England, it tends to be raining. So nearly all of my knives are stainless. If they weren't stainless, so if they're carbon, I'll find a carbon knife just to show you. So I've picked a different knife to show you, just because the Helle I got out to do the waxing on the sheath is stainless, so there's not a whole lot else I can do to that knife. This one, however, is carbon, so the carbon steel blade is prone to rust. So what I coat it with is a light oil. This is a silicone based gun oil, so for my air gun, and it's really just as easy as putting sort of 4 or 5 dabs on the blade, getting a designated oil cloth. That's what I've always used. These cloths come with the Helle knives, so that's just what I've started using, and just giving it a good once over, even down on the cutting edge, because you need that, especially along the cutting edges where it's most used at the end of the day, and that's the part that you do not want rusting. And again, just a few dabs on there. That is about as much treatment as that knife needs to get. What about sharpening? Well, I'm pretty good at sharpening. I keep my knives pretty sharp. Do I need to sharpen this knife? Not really. I keep my knives pretty sharp. This is a big knife. I've not done any sharpening videos. I think it's probably because there are thousands of sharpening videos out there. Do you need another one of me showing you how to sharpen a knife? No. Go and watch someone else. Right, now we're getting into the good bit. We're going to be looking at my axe. This is actually the whole reason I did this video, because I need to oil this handle. I've taken the collar off. I will treat that the same as I treated my axe sheath, just with a bit of dubbing. The handle itself, these are Gransfors. This is a small forest. They are hickory handles, and I would advise doing this every year at least. If you've never done it, I suggest doing a good couple of coats, sort of for a week. Let it dry, put another coat on. When it stops absorbing, then you can lay off it, and then I do like another coat every month, just for 6 months or so, and then definitely just every year just give it a top up. So, because these are expensive, you want them to last, and I think it looks really good with that nicely oiled handle. So let's get into it. Boiled linseed oil. It doesn't say it because it's been eaten off by rats. What you need is some blue roll or kitchen roll, anything like that. So I've taken the collar off because, yeah, I don't need that to be on there. I'll take the sheath off as well. Obviously the axe is now, as they say, live, so it is sharp. Just pop that there. Get a bit of this out. Oh, this did have a child lock on it once, and then the rats ate it off. Anyone who's used this on furniture or anything knows the smell of linseed oil is quite strong. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, make sure you use boiled linseed oil. Okay, boiled linseed oil will absorb into the wood and will dry. If you use what's called raw linseed oil, it will never dry. It will just stay sticky forever. So I've got a bit on there. I've got the axe handle, and I'm just going to literally just apply it quite liberally. Ooh, throw it all over the place. On one side, put that down. Ooh. Stand up. That's it. Try a little bit more. To the other side. Not forgetting the end grain at the top. Obviously you do have the eyelet there. Some and most axes have an eyelet. You could pour a bit through there. I'm not too fussed about that. That just needs to absorb in. Obviously the top end here is underneath the collar, but I still want to get it even all throughout. Another bit that does get forgotten is the top here. So don't try this at home, people. Just put a little dab on the top, and then you can just work that bit in on top. Don't worry if you do get it on the metal itself. At the end of the day, it's an oil. It will just help that with that coating of the blade. Now, to be honest, that's probably enough for me on that one. You do need that to dry properly before anything else gets done to it, because it will stay not greasy, but it will stay wet for some time. You could put a bit of string through the loop there and hang it up, but luckily these Gransfors do stand on their heads, so I will just let it stand there for now. So that's that. And as I said, the sheath, I'm going to use that dubbing again. Still got a little bit on the corner here, somewhere. Close that one up for now. So the sheath, just going to give the sheath a kick once over with the dubbing, a little bit on a rag, work it into the leather. Again, it just needs a little light coat, and then sort of a buffing out or a polishing, just a polishing cloth going over it to get rid of that excess. Again, it doesn't matter if it goes on the inside. It's a wax. It's all to help that that leather protect against any nasties that come at it from the elements. So that's the sheath done, and I'll do the same to the collar. So there we have it, nice and simple. One of those videos that just, I needed to get a job done and I thought I'll just do it on camera. So I've gone through the 3 main bushcraft tools that and how I protect them against the elements. So that was the knife, which the sheath I've just put some dubbing on. The saw, which I just cleaned off with some of that saw blade cleaner. The carbon blade on a knife, which I used the gun oil. Any oil will do. You can use a WD-40 or anything, but just this silicone oil I find just leaves like a really nice coating on it. And when I go to use it, you can see that the water isn't penetrating the silicone and getting to that blade. So that's just the reason I use it. And then oiling up the handle on the axe there, and of course when that's dry I'll then go and put some of the oil on the blade as well, and that will just get it all really wrapped up and ready to use in the winter. One final note: if you do use boiled linseed oil, there has been reports, I cannot confirm or deny, whether this stuff, if thrown in the bin, as it dries it can produce heat, which then can spontaneously combust. So if you are using rags with boiled linseed oil, don't just chuck them in the bin. What I do is I take it out, put it in a plant pot and just burn it, because it just saves anything from going wrong in the dustbin. So that's pretty much it from me then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you might have learned something. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any of these tools, and if you do something slightly different, maybe use a different product on your axes. Let me know, and see you out in the woods at some point soon using a load of this gear. All the best, guys. Catch you on the next one. Bye.